Hello everyone, so I just finished watching all of Amazon Prime's newest show, Citadel. So this is a big spy series. It was only 6 episodes long, and each episode anywhere between 40 to 50 minutes. Yeah, more or less sort of thing with most of these episodes. But yes, it's created by Josh Akabon and David Wee. It stars Richard Madden, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Stanley Tucci, and yeah, it's a big spy franchise that Amazon seems to be going full into. So yes, without further ado, let me get into my review for season 1 of Citadel. So the IMDb synopsis of Citadel is: global spy agency Citadel has fallen and its agents' memories were wiped clean. Now the powerful syndicate Manticore is rising in the void. Can Citadel agents recollect their past and summon the strength to fight back? Question mark. That's what it gives us here. So Richard Madden and Priyanka Chopra Jonas play against two spies who were involved in Citadel. Right off the bat, we get to see the fall of their agency and again to basically the wiping of their memories and trying to figure out who they were, what Citadel was, why they fell, who Manticore is, basically all these things, just trying to reconnect the pieces of their lost memories and do so by again to having to reconnect with each other and go on international missions to get information to help recollect their memories, but also stop Manticore from what seems to be a nuclear world ending just operation that they have going on. So again, too, for the first few episodes, I was actually enjoying the show. I did find that it started off and was kind of pacing itself as a very generic spy show where you have, unfortunately, been there, seen that, with a lot of the things that they're doing right off the bat, where you found a lot of inspiration from Jason Bourne, from James Bond, from the Mission Impossible series, just all these spy things that just seemed like, oh yeah, I've seen that before, I've seen that before, I've seen that before, and I've seen it done better in those other mediums. And I found that that kind of just kept adding on as the season kept going and going and going, and eventually kind of by episode 4 or 5 I was and again, see, this is only 6 episodes long this first season. I don't want to say done with the show, but just not really interested within it anymore. Again, too, with the very generic and lackluster script that these actors had to work with. Not saying that they did a bad job with it at all, but it was just very generic, and they kept adding in things that just, for an international spy thriller, were just so, I don't even want to say generic, just really out of place with what this show kind of felt like it could have been in a lot of ways. How expensive it was. It was one of the most expensive shows ever. And I just can't understand why, again, it's the same thing with Amazon with their Lord of the Rings show. I can't understand why so much money went into something that was so generic and very predictable, very boring in a lot of ways too. Maybe I am just being way too harsh on it, but a lot of the times I just found that the romance subplots, the family subplots, the romance subplots, the family subplots, again, to losing the memories, bringing in characters, but not explaining who they are, their backstories, things like that. So it just felt like this show was way too short and just not written very well. It was almost, it feels like this could have been written up in less than half an hour, sort of thing. Very generic and just not anything really there to hold your interest for the entirety of this season, and that does make me worried about further on. They do, and they show at the end of the 6th episode that they have plans to keep building up this spy verse, I think is what they called it, within Citadel, and I can't see if this is the first swing of the bat. I'm nervous about how this show is going to again carry on and continue existing in a lot of ways, because I feel like, again, too, a lot of people see this as like a big budget kind of have fun with it spy universe, but I just wasn't able to do that at all because of, again, too, just how kind of bad the writing was, how weird the pacing was. There's so many times too where they love their flashbacks in the show and they just jump from point to point to point to point to point, and they always make the efforts to tell you when the scene is taking place. They'll say this was 8 years ago, this was 6 years ago, this is now, this is present day, this is where they're at, this is where they were at 8 years ago. But they were just bouncing around so much that just made this a very incoherent storyline in a lot of ways, and it just felt like it could have been paced and edited a lot better. That could have shown us things in the past and then led to what events in the present are going on. But no, it just became way too convoluted, but generic and predictable in its own right for me really to be able to recommend it to anyone. So that's why, with everything taken together, the first 6 episodes, season 1 of Citadel, I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 10. Really hard for me to get into it. It's really hard for me to recommend it to anyone, and it's going to be hard for me to get interested within this spy universe moving forward if they want to do multiple spin-offs and multiple seasons of this show. So if you've seen Citadel, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. And of course, if you like this review, definitely give it a thumbs up, and you can check out everything I do on the channel through a playlist down below, and I'll link some up top here for convenience sake. Thank you for subscribing and turn that little ringer on so you know when I upload new videos. If you want to check out the description of this video on my channel bio, there's a link to the Media Mounts, which is my Discord where we talk about movies, video games, comic books, TV, pretty much everything that's awesome in this world. So you can definitely join that amazing community. I'll make it even more amazing than it is already. And yeah, just awesome, guys.